Hello, I am Super Orange Cat, and today I'm here with a random anime review of the show Amagi Brilliant Park. It was produced by Kyoto Animation, and it aired, I believe, in the summer, I might be wrong with the season, of 2014 in Japan. But what I watched was actually the dub version, which is pretty rare for me because for every other show I've done a random anime review of so far, I've actually watched the subbed version. So there are one thing in particular I'm going to point out I thought was pretty interesting. That was a difference between the two. And what I was going to say is that, okay, so here's the plot of Amagi Brilliant Park. Like the general plot, I'm not going to talk about for 20 minutes. Okay, main character is this guy called Kanye, right? Immediately, this random female student shows up, holds a gun to his face, and says, "Take me on a date to this park," right? This girl, you'll later find out her name is Sento. So they go to a date in this park. The park's complete crap. And at the end, she's like, "Did you enjoy it?" He's like, "No." And he lists all the things he didn't like about it. She's like, "Okay, that's interesting. Do you want to bite this croquette?" And he's like, "Sure, I guess." Bites it and says, "It's the best croquette I've had in my life." She's like, "Okay, would you like to meet the person behind it? Who made it?" And he's like, "Sure." So they go to this random castle, and then there's this like little princess, like Princess Peach, but if she was like 9 years old, shows up. And it's like, "Oh, who are you? Can you save our park?" And he's like, "No, that's stupid. I'm not going to spend my time saving your park." So then he dilly dallies, and then she has to call all the workers and say, "Oh, by the way, we're probably shutting down soon. Things aren't good for us. The guy we wanted to be manager just kind of bailed on us." And he's like, "Okay, screw it. I'm just going to be your manager now." So the general goals, they have to get 250,000 more subscribers. I would love 250,000 subscribers, so click that subscribe button if you haven't already. They have to get 250,000 people to go to the park in the last 3 months. So the general gist shows that they have to do all these desperation stunts to try to get people to go to the park and really work on the harmony of all the workers. Like, for example, these are four fairy characters who do like a Showtime type show, but they can't work together, and they have a plot about them figuring out how to work together and becoming a successful show. Other stuff too being just getting Moful, who is the character shown here, to just enjoy his job a little more, to be more motivated to bring people to the park. And long story short, at the end, they're able to, and it's kind of weird because afterwards, there's two more episodes where it's like kind of them just doing more park stuff, even though the stakes are completely gone because the threat's gone. They're gonna keep the park. It's gonna stay open because they got the people they need to show up. And that kind of gets me to one of the interesting things about the show. Like I mentioned, this is Kyoto Animation. And if you're unaware, there was a attack on the Kyoto Animation studios about a month or two back. Long story short, almost everything's destroyed. There's probably gonna be very little, if almost no more, Kyoto Animation made content, at least for the long term. And that's probably a reason why this show ends up looking like it's going to end abruptly, because you can tell by how the plot lines were set up. Many small plot lines I neglected to mention here because it would, like I said, take 20 minutes to describe all of them. Don't really get fully answered. For example, there's kind of this thing where Sento, like I said, is kind of the main female character, clearly is developing a relationship for the main male character, and it's a part of it's about her feelings, like how she's worried about telling him her feelings. Like that plot line's never addressed. It's revealed that one of the businessmen who wanted to shut down the park was a sorcerer who cursed the princess. That never gets fully addressed. They kind of address the princess being no longer cured because, oh, surprise, surprise, this tree that happens in the park reacts to the happiness of the people in the park, so it like served to cure her of memory loss. And like still in general, especially like I said, it was structured in a weird way. If you're looking at this as a one season show, like something like Watamode, like the last show I mentioned or I reviewed, in which the stakes end with 2 episodes left, and the 2 episodes after that just seem very quotidian, seem very slice of life, or like I said, low stakes. And it looked like that was probably And normal setup would just mean that, okay, these are the episodes that are kind of filler bridging the issue of season one with what the main issue in season two is going to be. Like, for example, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! The first season was the Duelist Kingdom arc, but after the end of the Duelist Kingdom arc, you had like 4 or 5 episodes of filler before you got to the beginning of the whole Rare Hunter thing before the Battle City tournament in the second season. And if you don't remember them, one of the episodes was the quote unquote Johnny Steps episode where his ace monster is just a guy playing guitar. And also that was the Rebecca Hawkins was in that too, the introduction of her, where she was one move away of beating Yugi Moto, but no, she ends up winning because he forfeits. But off on a tangent. But again, I think that's what they were trying to set up for. It's just tragic. We're not going to get a season two because the disaster at Kyoto Animations. And really, just to sum it up more further, I really like this show. Seemed like a ridiculous. It's one of those things where the idea was just so ridiculous that it becomes good. And you have some anime pull this off, like you know, like oh god, I'm drawing a blank on some of these examples right now, but it's a pretty common thing in anime just to take an out of nowhere concept. Like I think there's a ping pong anime. I'm not certain. I believe there is, and it became, I believe, somewhat popular. And the title of it's just eluding me right now, and I'm so sorry for that. But like I said, it's about a theme park where all the characters are actually characters. Like Moful, the all-time legend I'm showing right here. Yeah, there's no man in the suit. This is actually like supposed to be the character. Okay, and now since I mentioned Moful, I guess I'll have to explain the video I posted yesterday, the anime pro tip. Yeah, the dub voice actress for Moful is Tiffany Grant. If that name is familiar to you, it's because she was the voice of Asuka way back when for Evangelion. I guess the characters are kind of similar. Like Asuka, her whole plot line ultimately boils down to she's a bitch that blows all of her chances, and Moful is just kind of like a washed up has been Mickey Mouse ripoff. Even make that joke. They even make that jump a couple times, like, "Oh, you're just a Mickey Mouse ripoff," and Moful's like, "No, no, no, I established my own brand." And I thought that was pretty funny too, kind of self aware too. But if I had to find any fault with the show itself, it was like I said, just they didn't know what to do with Sento's plot line because they gave her an interesting characterization of I was originally the manager, but I didn't know how to interact with people. And we got you Kanye because you're a child actor, you're more verbal, you can communicate with people better, something I cannot do. However, this showed that she wasn't completely worthless. It showed that she's actually very able to work in a crisis, like when the underground almost floated, almost drowned. And I swear to God, that whole episode, I know it was never going to happen, but I was hoping there'd be one part where all of nowhere Pennywise shows up in the walkways and is like, "You all float down here. We all float down here." And I would just die laughing because I've been perfect. That's all I could think of the whole time. But alas, in general, great show. I would give it a 9 out of 10. Like I said, not perfect, kind of out in left field, but still a pretty solid anime. If you want to watch it, it is available on Hulu in both dub and sub if you have a preference for either. What do you guys think? Do you want me to do more anime reviews like this? Please leave your comments down below. If you like this video, please like. If you want more content, please subscribe and hit that notification button. I appreciate you guys' support. I am Super Orange Cat, and that is all.